Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, that's right, it's another Shop Talk Tonight with your hosts, Charles, Chuck, Craig, Blaster Pro.
Hello, everybody. And there was much rejoicing.
And I am, of course, his sidekick, Matt Wells.
How you doing, Matt?
I am doing well, sir. I'm doing well. We have, and of course, the house, we have Mr. IT Technical Director
Rodney,
who
is also doing some show research tonight for us.
He is
on the fly.
And Hayden apparently feels like crap because his
35, remember, and up. Man, 35 to.
Okay. Hayden feels like crap because his allergies are killing him. So we're going to try and keep him going as long as we can. We may need to just prop him up with a dead there in the chair.
I know
his corpse may be rotting there next week.
His nose is starting to turn red. His eyes are red.
Nose is cold and his feet are froze.
He's suffering from allergies. He bush hogged the front yard this afternoon.
Oh, I saw it. Your lawn is definitely mowed. I noticed that. That's well done.
Yes.
Well done, Hayden.
We're turning over.
I'm sorry that you are not feeling well because of it, though.
Yeah. I came home. I went to work, and I got to work and realized there was nothing to do. And my boss said, hey, you can at least put the airbags in that Honda. And I said, what am I going to do Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday? So I said, I can go home and take care of some other things. And I got plenty of other stuff to do. So I came home. And when I came home, this is only like an hour and a half after I left for work. I came home and he's mowing the grass. I was so pleased with him.
You are doing a great job, sir. Great job. Great job.
I only have.
That's what we're supposed to do, right?
Hope
positive reinforcement.
I only hope that your teenager turns out to be.
He'll get there.
You think so?
I'm going to make him start doing stuff. So yeah. He's 13 now.
Time
to become a man.
You should have actually given him one of those little bubble.
I did when he was younger. He had him. He just he's not an outdoors kid.
No.
My daughter, I think here in like a year, she's ready to go. We had a nice little party for our friend Sean Adkins at my house.
Yeah, little birthday get together.
It was a little birthday get together. We played some. We actually ended up playing Star Wars role playing game.
Yes.
Was it some sort of? I don't remember what the name of it was.
I was a droid. That's all I remember.
I was a Wookiee.
Edge of the Empire.
Edge of the Empire.
As
we're being told.
Yeah.
Hayden did not like it. It wasn't his cup of tea. I don't blame him.
So
I will from now on make sure that we have at least we got 2 games running. One of them being
not pretend.
No. He really likes the Lords of the Waterdeep.
Oh, so, I really enjoyed that also.
Yeah, we'll make sure we have multiple games running and Lords of the Water being
yeah, one. He was all excited when we got there, and then
Sean wanted to make sure everybody was playing the same game.
Yeah, so I know. It's totally
we all played.
We all played.
And if you're on, Sean, hi again. For some reason, he gets on, and then it never shows up anything he does. So I just want to say hi to him.
So anyway,
other than nothing to do at your work, how you been?
Nothing to do at work. I'm okay. I'm kind of. Do you ever have so much free time that you just start getting weird?
What the hell is that?
Okay. Has anyone out there had so much free time that you just kind of start getting weird?
Yeah, but I was in the hospital.
That was when you were in the hyperbolic chamber, right?
And he can't do anything to get weird.
We're on death's door.
Yeah, he was on death's door. That's all kinds of weird.
Where only his foot was on death's door.
Well,
he kept opening it, he wouldn't come in.
But the foot was dragging the rest of him into it.
He had a sign on the thing: "Do not disturb except for death. Come on in." So, yeah, and what else did we do? We didn't do anything this weekend, did we?
Went to the Roses.
We went to the Roses.
How'd you like the pulled pork? Was it good enough?
The pulled pork was excellent.
I'm glad you liked it.
So was the
mac and cheese.
The mac and cheese was really good. The coleslaw was very good.
Hayden got his own giant bag of mixed
even the
Doritos stuff.
The mystery barbecue sauce was good.
Oh, it was just honey barbecue. It
didn't have a label.
That's because
whenever it doesn't have a label,
kids end up peeling
scary.
it off.
Do you peel it off and put a ketchup label on
I
there
just-
so they'll actually eat it?
No, they love barbecue sauce.
Oh.
That's just why I'm like, they'll end up sitting there playing with it, they're spinning it around on the table, and then the label gets all jacked, and I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah. So I actually have a couple orders going out to Etsy tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's etsy.com/shop/BlasterPro for all your blaster needs.
There's
Or if you actually want to see what they've got running, it's BlasterProShop.com.
Yep. That's actually where all the good stuff's at.
That's where you can see all the products. You're supposed to be able to order there, but that hasn't been 100%
You can still order there, but it has to be
resolved.
done through email still. It's an email / PayPal transaction. So
Yeah, I get you.
you still get all the buyer protection
Yeah,
stuff.
I get you.
But
So-
yeah, we're working on that. We have not been working on it for 6 months.
Yeah.
And we
Etsy.com/shop/BlasterPro
we
and
definitely
BlasterProShop.com
need to get back to that. But
to
anyway,
make that a clean one-stop shop
yes.
transaction.
This month's game.
This month's game
I know
is-
you don't know exactly what's
I
going on or how
don't
it's going to
know.
work.
I don't have a clue, but
I'm glad you're on the
this train
same
wreck will be epic. Is all I can think.
I know you're on the same page as most of us. Even the people who are putting it together don't really know how it's going to work. Rodney, though, has done some very cool things.
I've seen the buzzers.
And these
We
actually,
just printed those out. I don't know why you didn't have a hole in them to begin with.
You told me these were Devo hats.
they are Devo hats.
Whip it. Whip it good.
So anyway,
Into shape.
yeah, these are going to go with it.
Shape it up. And whip it. Whip it. That's the best I got, man. Sorry.
Yeah.
I know it's not the perfect lyrics. My bad.
But we have got to next week. There's a very important part of the contest is going to happen next week because it has to do with who's going to get to participate and possibly win the prize on the 31st.
Is this why we're doing the Clone of Willie?
We're not doing Clone of Willie.
Damn
We're
it, I
talking
keep
about Clone of
trying
Willie.
to-
No, it's why I ordered the PU leather bondage gear.
Nice.
Did you actually order that thing?
Apparently he did. He
Why
just-
we're not doing that bit no more?
Why not? I have no idea what he's talking about, but it already sounds fun. That's fine.
Who'd you send it to?
Like Big
Under-
Gay Al or like
Yeah, big Al.
okay, because
Under-
my mailman always gets a kick out of that. I just want to let you know.
So next week,
Like that's one of his favorite things. He's like, I got nothing.
so basically, we are going to be for a very special part and a very important part of the giveaway on the 31st. We are going to be pulling names out of a hat next week. 2 names. We're because those are going to be and those are going to. So basically, you have to be here next week to get your name in for the drawing. That will carry over to the 31st.
Wow.
Because we can't, we've been figuring this out and we can't do it all in one night.
Okay.
So, Hayden, you also agree, right? That we need
don't worry about Hayden. Go on. No, it's you're
He's all
barking
drunk.
up the wrong hole.
He's all
man.
drugged. We need to get names for the game next week is what we need to do.
We have
need,
0 people currently on.
We
So I
had
just-
one person. I think it might have been Ron.
you know what?
Nope. I'm playing a game.
No,
It's because the freaking camera
there's-
keeps strobing.
there's people there. But anyway,
I'll make sure everybody knows I'm the talent.
we'll need people who want to possibly. We're going to play for, and what we're playing for is a what? don't even remember,
Not a clue, actually.
We're going to be playing for a Hoth DL44 solo blaster, an ESB Hoth blaster. Not the Bespin,
You know,
but the
what
Hoth.
would make it even better is if we can like live stream it across both platforms. That would make
I
it
would
so
love
much
to do
cooler.
it across, especially since interaction will be at a minimum on the Tuesday night,
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
the 31st.
31st.
The game night. We're doing something totally new, totally kind of special because this is actually also our 2nd year anniversary of the giveaways.
I love you too.
So, I can't believe
Celebrating 2 years of COVID.
2 years of dumpster fires. But anyway, we're going to be doing that, and you need to get your name in the hat.
You got to be here so you can get your name in the hat,
Yes.
so that you can be in the running for the blaster.
Yes, exactly.
Is that right?
That's
I'm
exactly
making this
right.
shit up as I go along based on what you're saying.
We are not making it up. We planned this out.
I am.
We were going to start announcing this last week, but we only came up with it on Wednesday last week, so we couldn't announce it Tuesday because we figured it out Wednesday. Does that make sense, Hayden? Yes.
I think we should change the HDMI cables for camera 1 and 2,
Why?
so it stops giving me a C here.
But is it doing it on the monitor?
Yeah.
No, the other monitor to your right.
No.
Okay, then it's the out feed. It's in the coding.
Why is it?
It does that because it does it every once in a while, although we're doing pretty good. So anyway, that's the deal. You need to be here next week. Even we're going to do it in the front part of the show.
Sunday.
So,
Wait, no, that's
so
not right.
if you
Tuesday.
because we have a lot of people that only show up for the game nights.
We do have a lot of people who only
So-
show up for the game nights. We have a lot of people who watch this afterwards.
Also, yes.
A lot of people that's the reason why a lot of people liked us on Facebook because they
that
would
was
just pop up and be there.
Yes, and we do still miss Facebook, and I don't know if we'll ever go back because this does work much better. But
Physically, yes, it does.
only thing I don't like is the fact that we're reversed. Remember how we weren't reversed on the other?
Well, I mean, I get
Yeah.
what you're saying.
So, well, you need to get your name in for the game, and everything will probably still be up in the air, and you will not know
I think that's more for our benefit, to be honest.
how the game. It is for our benefit, yes.
It's easier to go like this or like this. Over here.
This month's game is a surprise. It's going to be totally something new. It's going to be a totally new dumpster fire train wreck.
Honk, honk,
So-
boom.
But I think it's going to be fun. We've put way too much work into it already, which. Oh, and it could end up being after you see it, after the month is over, we can actually talk about possibly doing that in the future in a different way, but in a very cool way.
Maybe, but not really. We'll see.
Maybe, but not really. Yeah. But, so anyway, we had a topic we were going to talk about tonight, and it's a really cool hack that
You're a hack.
you've seen this.
Oh,
you were
wait.
aware of this stuff before.
The hack, yes. Well, in a ways, but us fleshing it out made us.
Because
let's call
I've
it
done this.
subject matter experts at some of this stuff.
I've
now.
done this before.
Yeah.
I did this when I was a teenager.
but not to this extent.
Not to this extent, but what we're going to talk about tonight is it ties into last week, me using the overhead projector. If anybody is the right age, you will remember overhead projectors in the classroom. You okay, Hayden? I know
Bueller.
he dropped the snack, and he look.
Did it spill everywhere? It's sunflower seeds.
He's just not
He's got
happy.
the sunflower seeds.
Poor guy's
And
just.
and it fell
I'm
on the
sorry,
floor.
son. But we'll wrap this up quick tonight, so you can go back to bed.
Bueller. He does. Hayden's never violent against me. He always laughs around me. I want to go on. I want to make sure that this is completely 100% and on camera. So Hayden didn't really dig the role RPG, so he kind of just chilled on the couch, which means my daughter sat and played with him, and she had the greatest time of her life in there. I don't know what they were doing. She was laughing the whole time, so it was great. I should probably pay him like $20 for being a babysitter.
For occupying.
Right? I'm not going to. I bring him drinks and candy and snacks all the time. So
Munchies. So Hayden, pull up the picture of just the white picture of the sheet. This will give you an idea. We'll explain what we've done.
did you load pictures up? I didn't.
No.
Oh, Hayden didn't
I
load.
took 3 minutes. I was busy
Oh.
setting up the stream itself.
But you could have been doing it while we were streaming. Okay. So anyway,
I didn't know until I start with.
Oh man, this is all kinds of. Daryl Hargrove says,
Daryl.
"What's up? How's it going, Daryl?" So, if you can pull up, I sent Chuck 2 photos. One is
They're in
the
Messenger.
full size, and one is of the basically what we pulled information from. So it'll be there. Sorry, we got to direct him via the information here. Man, it is so system intensive. It's such a pain.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, if you guys are writing stuff right now, we do not know what it is.
Barry?
Yeah, that's Barry. Yeah.
Hey, we're looking at something on Facebook. Apparently, our friend Barry is doing something.
That's what he's doing he's working on that stuff with what's his name?
I know, but
I know they can't see it.
They can't see squat on there. So, man, it is not popping up at all. It's so freaking crazy.
So, when we're working on projects, and sometimes, well, let's just say
there it is.
There we go.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying he's able to get it.
Yeah.
Now. Save that picture and then save the next picture that's up. You keep talking.
So, every once in a while, there's projects that we come across that we need a pattern, or we need to make a template or whatever. So we will use, I actually, when I was a kid, I wanted to make a large blueprint style drawing of a battleship. So I had this book that had a really good drawing of the USS Enterprise, or Arizona, I'm sorry. And I had that copied onto a transparency, and then I used an overhead projector just like this. And I'm
going to send one more of the chair just to let you know.
I took paper tablecloths and ran them across the wall, and then moved the projector to the point where I got the entire picture within the paper tablecloth, and then I traced it by hand. And when I was done, I had this really beautiful, huge drawing, or blueprint style drawing of battleship. So when we're working on projects, say you wanted to make a really cool sword, but the sword doesn't exist anyplace, maybe you can get a 3D file of it to 3D print it, but you want to make it out of something else. So we've done this in the past. We've found 3D files of parts or of items we wanted to make. Yep. And we've created transparencies of these and figured out our scaling, and then used the scaling, like how tall is the seats, for instance.
18 inches is a standard height for.
That was how we did it
for a chair.
For the scale,
18 inches is a standard height for a chair.
From your butt to the floor, right?
Yeah, that's exactly correct.
So we use that as a standard reference.
Pull up the other one first, the white one
for scaling.
Oh yeah, that one works too. So do the chair one.
Yeah,
I'm completely contradicting him every time he pops.
No, go ahead with the chair. Go ahead with the white one.
Oh wait,
the sheet.
We're talking about the chair though.
No, we'll talk about the chair in a minute.
Okay, we'll get to the chair. My bad.
Because this is what I wanted to originally talk about. Go ahead and pull that picture up.
So this here is actually what we. It's the door to the mines of Moria.
Yes. Speak, friend, and enter.
Speak, friend, and enter. It's kind of blurry because I sent it to him on iPhone, and there's all kinds of just jacked up. We won't get into that.
We made this life size. How tall was it originally? Finally,
that was let's see, that'll be 8 foot by 6 foot.
Okay, so it was 8 foot. That
and then
the part with the artwork on it was 8.
Header on it.
The part with the artwork was 8 foot by 6 foot. Go ahead now. Yeah, pull this up. No, not that one. You want to pull that one up?
Either one. Just
there you go.
Something for reference.
That's a blurry mess. But anyway.
Which one's a blurry mess?
Both of them are.
Oh, dear God. Why
that is horrible.
So much better on my...
Go ahead and use it, though. Because, so anyway,
Jesus
those
Christ.
Panels are 8 foot tall.
We're going to stop sending stuff via my phone.
3 foot wide.
Right here.
So, yeah, it looks good on yours. Anyway, to scale that, we use that exact same picture that you saw before in the white picture. We scaled that using an overhead projector to be able to hand draw that, trace it onto the foam that we cut out. Yep. And then we had like 8 people with Dremels for a week or a week's worth of days.
A week's worth of days, yeah.
We were only working on Wednesday and Saturday at that point. But we had a really big build crew, and they were running Dremels with the router bits, the router attachments on it. And it turned out beautiful the way we did it. And it's still alive somewhere in someone's basement, right?
Yeah, it's now in his. We did that for the Cincinnati Comic Expo in 2017. It has now been decommissioned and
Yes, it is.
sitting. It is now in someone's basement, and they have the door to the Mines Memorial with the lights and everything. Speak, friend, and enter.
We wish we had a better picture of it because it did turn out really well.
I just simply typed in Cincinnati Comic Expo and I'm sorry, door to the Mines Memorial.
You should have got the picture with Andrew and
Samwise Gamgee.
Yeah. So anyway. So if you have a project and you need to make a prop.
So that means the next one you pull up is going to be blurry as shit too. You know?
Yeah, don't worry about it. We're not pulling anything else. So anyway, if you have a project, this is something you can do. Well, let's not even get to that. Overhead projectors are old tech. High schools and colleges
no longer even really use them.
Don't use them anymore because the computers tied to the projectors it's such a big thing now.
Smart boards, spark boards.
Yeah, so you don't see them anymore. So you can find them. We got this one.
Colored markers that aren't actually markers. They just draw on a projection.
We got the one right here for, I think, like $15-20. And we had to put a bulb in it. And Rodney also put a fan in it because the fan was bad. And he put in and wired up a new fan. So I think at the end we had like $45 in this thing. Yep. And it served the shop now. We've had it, 4 years now? Well, since so anyway, we've had it a long time. I've used it on several different projects, and we used it on this particular build. Hayden, pull up the. Do you have the throne in there?
He has the picture I sent.
Oh, you know what? Yeah.
It may show up.
Actually, go ahead and go into our go into our own photo library and grab it. Pull up a picture of it. It's in the media for the show because we've had it on the show before.
Right there. No. Just right there. No, that's the one I just sent, isn't it? Pretty sure that looks just like the photo.
It looks just like the photo.
Oh, it's not. It's just it's
a better version of it.
It's just not the one I sent. It's a little bit better. Mm-hmm. So if you look here, you'll literally see basically a cross section of what the chair looks like. The way that occurred is, well, first off, we messed up. But after we fixed our mistake, because when you're projecting, if the surface is not, if it leans even a little bit, it'll throw it off. Yes. Well, we were doing this at night.
Probably not with the best amount of sleep.
Not with the best amount of sleep. We were thinking, this is a great idea.
It was not the best plan. It was also at the end of a workshop night. Yep. So there was beer involved.
Alcohol may have been contributed to our mistakes.
we took a nice big piece of plywood.
Yep.
Stuck it against the garage, and then took
not straight up and down, mind you.
that was our mess up. But what we did was there's a couple cheap ways of shop paper.
Show it up.
Yeah.
This is the best time to show it.
Yeah, but before I get to that, I want to talk about it a little bit more.
Okay, we're going to talk first.
2 quick ways of getting large paper for large patterns. One is wrapping paper. I get dollar store wrapping paper.
Yeah. You can get it any time of the year.
And cool is, you'll see later that on the back side of a lot of
the newer wrapping paper,
there is a grid, a
1 inch
square grid on the back, it's awesome. It's just great. So that actually allows you to take a drawing that you've done out on graph paper and then expand it up onto a larger medium. So anyway, when we were going to build the Emperor's throne from Return of the Jedi,
yes,
we discovered I discovered someone had made a scan of the sideshow chair.
Yes,
and basically, whenever you're looking at something and you're going to use something as a template or a pattern, it has to look right. And this looked proportionately correct. And I think that's one of the reasons why our chair turned out so well is we were very we were very
meticulous about how it sat.
Yes, more so about the overall dimensions and the way it looked. And so we printed out the model itself. So we had the model for reference in the shop. And since I had the 3D model, what I did with the 3D model is I sliced it in certain ways, in certain directions to give us profile shots, like from the middle. You can see the seat, and you can see where the right arm would be, and you can see where the left arm would be from like a center out type perspective.
Yep.
And then we did top downs, and we did straight back, and then full straight profile. We did all these. I made all these copies or cuts and slices, and I transferred them to
Transfer paper.
transparencies. Then in the scaling process, we did the 18 inches. We found out what the standard distance between the butt of a seat and to the floor, and it turns out it's 18 inches. So we used that for the scaling on our small model that was 3D printed to get our full scale dimensions. And from the full scale dimensions, we could figure out the total height and total width and all those types of things. That, with all those numbers involved, that allowed us to scale the pictures that we had, the cross-section pictures we had.
Keep it, so I want, so you barely flash these up, and I want to make sure the people understand what's going on here. So Chuck printed off a bunch,
probably about 6
of these. So I'm gonna show off. We got 4 right here readily available. Okay. So this is literally the front of the chair, right? Everybody can see it. Clear as day, you can see that is the front of the chair. Well, what we did is we decided that the seat, which ends, where your butt actually sits, right here is going to be 18 inches. From that point, we figured out that this is going to be 7.7 inches, and then the base itself is going to be
whatever we ended up.
I can't.
It's all backwards, so I can't even read my writing.
So we can't see it. And then we figured out that the width is going to be 60. Like we did all that math
inches.
Based on
the 18 inches,
the 18-inch mark of where the seat sits. From there, he gave us a bunch of other things. So we've got
a straight back.
This is just the back side. This is what the back side should look like in the end.
Now, all of these,
the top down, I'm going to show them all because they need the reference for this, so that they can see what's going on.
Literally, all of these are slices or pictures of the 3D file itself.
So cut from the left, cut from the right. You put them together,
and you can see in right here, you can see that's where the butt would be.
The depth.
Yes.
So we had decided it's 22.52 inches.
Yes. And we took
5'6".
We took tons of measurements. There's actually, I have a build book that has detailed pictures and all kinds of dimensions and drawings that we would work off of. So then we got a hold of a bunch of, I buy by the roll. It's like $4 a roll, almost $5 a roll. Masking paper, 18 inches wide. And we take that, we tape pieces together to cover the area that we're going to need to make a pattern. And Hayden, go ahead and pull that other picture, the wood frame picture up. There it is, still active. Now, if you pull that picture right there, you see the frames in the picture? Those are actually taken directly from the template. It's the actual template where it shows the butt, where the butt's going to sit. That actual
this one right here.
That's actually the template, yes.
And you notice it's slightly off. We had to make some adjustments, but that was because we were drunk.
So anyway, to give you an idea, I'm going to show you guys how we did this. And there's one other project I'll explain how I worked on it with. And I'm going to use the overhead projector to do this. First thing, we'll fire it up.
Oh, camera 2. Look at that.
There's camera 2.
She's pretty. She's clean. She's not pretty clean.
And there's the chair. How's that look on camera 2? There you go.
Looks great.
So imagine this being projected outside onto a wall that has paper hanging on it.
On non-level ground.
On non-level ground, yes, but you can level the projector. Actually, it's a very funny thing. You can actually kind of do a little bit of leveling with the projector just with the head there. Yeah. But anyway, while we were doing all this, we would have a gigantic.
Go ahead and give us picture-in-picture.
We had a gigantic yardstick. Well, actually, not even a yardstick. It was basically like a drywall square.
A 4-foot drywall square.
And what that allowed us to do is
sitting right there, actually hanging up on the right-hand side.
It's right.
There.
Yeah. If you, I don't even think you can see it in the picture.
No, we can right now. No, I can't see what's in the picture, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So anyway,
hate playing with the camera.
By moving the projector itself forwards and backwards, if the further we go away, the bigger the image gets, and we were able to project it onto the paper using the drywall square, get certain measurements within their right measurements to be able to trace out the outlines and transfer those to, basically we're creating a pattern that can go straight to the plywood.
Yep.
And my original thought of building this using all these different pictures was we're going to build it like a ship, meaning we're going to create frames and ribs that the outer skin is going to lay on to, and that's actually what we ended up doing.
Has like a solid.
Do we have the picture that has like all the ribs straight down and everything, so you can see?
See if you guys can find it.
There should be one on the media, Hayden. If you don't,
so
if you
right
don't
here,
mind
here's one of the ones. Oops, if I
that's right. Go ahead.
Flip it over. You can see some of our.
So if you look right,
some of the numbers that we'd come up with.
Right there, that one. Put that one in.
That one?
Yeah, that's the one I'm looking for.
And we didn't use all of these for templates, but what we did do is we used them for reference, which.
So what he's talking about, I'm gonna take over for just a second. What he's talking about, you can see that this is literally just the front, and so we actually had, by the end we had 3 ribs going from left to right, and then the 2 ribs going straight up and down.
Exactly.
So that everybody has an idea of what's going on here. I'm sure we've got a picture out there, but every time I send a picture to them, it all comes out all blurry.
Like you said, well, like when you build like an old school.
That's all I needed.
When they build like an old school ship, the framing is what makes the shape of the hull. Yep. When they put the outer planking on, the interior framing is what. So I took that as the way I wanted to build this chair, because this chair had some really strange lines, or actually not strange lines, but
the way
tricky.
He wanted me to build the chair.
Yes, Matt did the Matt did.
I build it.
I supervised.
I build it.
I supervised the framework or the patterning and scaling work, and then turned that over to Matt. Matt framed it, and then started skinning it. I came in to help.
So the two straight up and down pieces you saw, that's actually going to be this cutout right here.
Yes.
And then the left to right side.
It's that right there.
Yeah. And then the left to right is
you actually see there's some more dimensions right there. Yeah.
So if you look on this one, the left to right is actually going to be this middle section that's all sitting around the seat.
This area here.
And then with it extended slightly on each one so that it can go up and into the main portion.
See, now there was another issue that I didn't think about when I did this, is none of our pictures are all scaled together. So we had, whenever we change position, we had to, whenever we changed
the entire thing.
we had to reposition the entire setup to be able to get the scaling proper on each one.
Yeah.
But we had key points of measurement that were all based on that 18 inches from your butt to the floor type measurement. Oops, I bumped camera 2. Is it good still?
It's still good.
Okay.
I'm watching it.
All right.
They can just see more of the board is all. It's good because now we're on you can kind of see us better.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
Because really, let's face it.
But this was how we did it. And this actually was a tremendous.
Yeah, it's great.
And this
benefit.
really only took me 15 minutes worth of work, and then let the printer print these out.
Oh.
And then
Because you can print these can be printed on your home printer.
yes.
And I think the laminate itself, or not laminate,
You have to get special kind, because back in the old days they used laser printers for transparencies.
Yeah.
You have to get a special inkjet printer transparency.
But yeah, it's just transparencies. It's going to run you about $15 to $20 depending on how many sheets you get. But it's worth it if you're going to do this type of stuff. I recognize it would be easier just to use a newfangled projector, but
if you don't have one, the thing is, Rodney did a search prior to us starting, looking for old used overhead projectors.
Yep.
And what Rodney found was from $35 to what about $65 was kind of what you were looking at.
Yeah.
So about $35 to $65, you can get yourself an old school overhead projector. And all these projectors, at least I'd say 90% of them, the bulbs and everything you need are still available for them. So,
and they're cheap.
Yeah, they're cheap. If you really take the time. And
any of the overhead projectors you're going to get now, they're going to be at least $200. Hello, guys. Hello, Chuck, Matt. Greetings from Chile.
Hey, but anyway, when we were doing this, I just made an offhand comment one night in the shop that this is.
Wow, nice. Very nice.
Thank you. I made an offhand comment one night in the shop at workshop about how I scaled up that battleship picture when I was a kid, and this would work great down in the shop for some future projects. And one of the guys just found one. We
just made it happen.
We got it. It didn't work when we got it. It needed a bulb and it needed a fan. But after all was said and done, we had $45 in this one, and we've been using it for about 3 or 4 years now, and it hasn't had any issues at all. And it's been say you're in anime and there's some crazy swords and weapons and stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe there's no digital files, but there's a decent like screen grab you can get, or a decent picture or a drawing that someone had done. You can print it off on this and then figure out how to scale it life size, find out what the dimensions would be life size, and very easily project it onto the wall. Trace out a template, cut the template out, transfer the template to the wood or PVC board or whatever you're creating, or foam.
Nice vintage projector.
Yes. But it's something that these things they were throwing these things away 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Just by, they were just, all of them were going in the garbage. And every once in a while you'll find one just laying there for next to nothing. And they really still kind of have a good use, like we do here, for scaling stuff. And I think it's now,
don't get me wrong, if we had like nothing but money to throw away, we would figure out a better way to do it.
We would use laptop. Now, we have in the past used a laptop with a projector.
Yes, we have.
But my projector is mounted because we watch television on it, and it's kind of a pain in the butt. And surprisingly enough, those are a little bit harder to get stuff in the right scale than this thing is. Yeah. I don't know why, but remember when we were doing that, we fiddled with that thing
forever. What he's talking about again is the door to the Mines of Moria we showed you earlier. For a better picture, obviously, just go to Google and type in door to the Mines of Moria, Cincinnati Comic Expo, and you'll find at least 4 or 5 pictures immediately, and that's our door.
So, using it for scaling or creating life-size templates, we can make this, I'm not going to say infinitely big, but we could have made this
infinitely big, 15
feet, 20 feet tall if we wanted to.
Why would you want that?
Yeah, exactly. But by doing this, and by doing a little bit of work to figure out using this distance between here and the floor, we were able to fill in a lot of the dimensions. So we already knew when we went outside what the points should be, and just literally took a giant ruler, set it in place, and moved the projector back and forth until we were within the right range. And then we started tracing out templates, and then we brought them inside, and then we cut them out. Then when the building started, they went straight out to the plywood. We were able to this is another good thing, we were able to economically use the wood because we could lay templates down and get a better
idea of
full use out of the material, as opposed to trying to scale it, cut it. It's a lot easier when you got templates to move around and mix and match to make everything fit and make your cut lines. Some cut lines were the border for two pieces. You were cutting two pieces out at the same time, and it was really it saves money, especially on a build like our budgets. But I got one more. When The Mandalorian came out, even before The Mandalorian came out, me being a big-time gun nut, I knew what The Mandalorian's gun was based on right away.
Now, I want to go ahead and toss out, it's not like an already gun nut. He's just
I love gun history.
Guns and gun history. He's not...
I don't own like 1,000 guns. All my guns are Star Wars, but 8. But but none shoot because they're all prop.
Because they're all
full of silicone. They're all my masters for mold making, so they don't shoot. But the Bergman Model 1.
Now that is actually he's going to show it to you. So
the Bergman Model 1, and we're actually going to scale this one because the history of the Bergman Model 1 is a little bit gray and a little bit fuzzy, but there are some very definite references to the gun in history. This is, you can probably tell by the regular shape of it, the general shape of it, that this is the Mandalorian's blaster. We're going to focus on this one right here because that one's not all the way on there. And then the other one is a top-down view.
Want to adjust the camera a little bit to the left?
Yes, sir. I bumped the camera.
He's bumped it several times. I've just watched it go more and more to the whiteboard to see what happens. Keep going. You got a while. There you go.
A little bit up.
A little bit up.
There you go.
Is that more gooder?
That's pretty now.
All right. Sorry, everybody, if I'm giving you motion sickness. This is the one we're going to work on. And now, what's a cool thing is, if you were paying attention earlier, I was talking about dollar store wrapping paper, and that's what I'm using. That's actually what this is. This is the backside of dollar store wrapping paper. So from the French trials, it's the only few times the Bergman Model 1 was trialed by a military for possible adoption. And in the trials, they gave the full dimensions of the gun. And the gun itself, from here to here, is 11 inches. So if I go right here, and this is number 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Well, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There you go. From there to there is 11 inches. So to get that to be properly scaled, I will.
Do you have enough room to move it in?
Yeah, I may not have the room to move it in, but
I don't think you have enough room to move it all the way in like that.
So we're gonna we're getting close. But anyway, now that I've got it close, let's refocus.
Don't you have to go tighter? There you go.
I'm going up higher. There we go.
Okay, nothing we do here is scale.
No, look at that. We're actually.
Yeah, you're still a little off.
Yeah.
About 2 inches, 3 inches.
Yeah. But anyway, that's very close. That just gives you an idea how to scale. By moving it in closer like that, it brings it closer to what its actual scaling is. Now, when I was doing this,
Closer makes it tinier. Further away.
Closer you bring it in, the smaller it makes. So all you need to do is just have your dimensions that you know it is. Using those dimensions, all you have to do is take your transparency and move it till it fits, excuse me, those dimensions. Here's a template I don't know how well you can see it.
Nobody can see that.
There's a
Nobody
template that
can see
I
that.
made. Try camera 1. Or 2.
Right there.
There you go. There's a template that I made off this guy right here projected up on the wall. And this was a template to give me the lower gun frame.
I get you.
And then in case I needed to try a couple times, I took the template itself and copied it on the printer to give me a few extra tries if I needed to try and change materials or whatnot, which I actually did. But we've used this on 2 of our big projects,
Yes.
full-size set style projects. One of them is the Emperor's Throne. Excuse me. One was the Emperor's Throne, and the other was the what was the other?
Door to Mines of Moria.
Doors to the Mines of Moria, and that one probably, I don't know, it benefited really well.
That effing door.
It benefited a lot on both of those projects, but I think on the Mines of Moria, there was no way you would ever be able to freehand or grid and do out all that.
Not. I think that
pattern,
was probably what's saving grace. On
that was probably
thing.
It was quicker. The process of scaling it to the panels and tracing it out was that only took us a couple hours to do.
Yeah.
Barry did the handwork, the tracing work, but we had our dimensions. We knew what the dimensions were. Actually, we based the dimensions off of the Lord of the Rings dimensions.
Yeah. Well, we based the dimensions off of a rough scale. So literally we took and looked at Gandalf next to it. We took his approximate height, figured out where it was, and then how tall the door actually needed to be.
And the fact that it was,
and then we chopped it off by about 2 feet.
we did, because actually in some of the illustrations in the books, it's not a double door; it's a single door that swings open.
Yeah.
But the design that's on the door is very much the same.
It's the same no matter where you're looking.
But in the Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Rings, it opened
from the center.
And that's how we created it. And it worked out good because it was 2 4x8 pieces of plywood and then a scrap
2-foot cap.
It was a 6 foot by 2 foot cap. But yes, if we ever do it again, we're going to do it a totally different way. We learned, you know, it sucks that we learn so much the first time we do it.
Shoot that thing off your lid.
It sucks that we learned so much on our first try, but spent all of our money, and we can't go. But we spent hours dremeling it. It was a good project, though.
Days. It was really days dremeling it.
Days. I actually had no time dremeling on it.
No kidding.
I was working on framework, and we were building the Batman climb at the same time.
Yeah, but that was the easy one. The Batman wall climb is my favorite build of all time because it took a total of 3 hours to build.
What was our Star Wars build that year?
Freaking 3 hours. What was our Star Wars build that year?
I don't think we had a Star Wars build that year. No, we had to have had them. No, maybe not.
No, we didn't.
So we did not have a Star Wars build that year.
Was that the same year as the? No, I don't know.
No, but the door, door was a big project. And
it was a big project.
Matt here bought some gels, which we still have up here somewhere.
Yeah,
and he candy caned the lights inside because it uses straight bulbs.
The one they weren't
LEDs.
18-inch, 12. No, they were LED, but they were LED.
Like for the neon light.
Yeah.
So.
Single bulb, 12-inch housing.
Yeah.
Just to light everything up to give the nice blue glow. We had to candy cane them because we initially had them completely wrapped
and everything,
and it did not show the light at all.
You know how it kind of did the blue-white shimmer Ours didn't blue white shimmer.
It doesn't shimmer. It just stays.
But it still had the blue white, and it looked really good.
And if you move from left to right, it shimmers because there's aluminum foil backing.
Yeah, everything was backed with We call that our Plinketto machine because we had all these spacers when we glued everything together. The spacers weren't supposed to fall out because they kind of were. Did we not glue them?
I don't think we glued them to
we
anything.
thought the weight of everything was going to hold it together.
But then the backing of the board separation.
We stood that sucker up, and it sounded like a Plinko machine inside. Blah, 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 hitting the metal frames of the lights, and yeah.
It still did it nonstop.
It did its job, and it did more duty than it should have ever had.
It was out there for 3 years.
And having an all
Actually, no, 4 years, because he just took it down this past year.
Year before last, had skipped year.
Well, I mean, that was the COVID year, but this past year,
it was the year before COVID's when it was retired. That was the last time it was up.
I thought it was this past year because oh, that's right, because it went this last year. It went to its home in somebody's basement.
And surprisingly, it held up surprisingly well. We only handled it. Technically, we would set it up every year, but we had no control over who handled it, moved it, transported it.
They laid it on its face. They did all kinds of stuff.
Stored it. People stepped on it,
walked all over it. Like that thing held up.
And every year we would
a lot better than it should have.
Quick spot repairs, but it held up, and it still apparently looks pretty good in where it's stored now. So, but anyway, the reason for tonight is I loved, and I still do love, these old machines and what you're able to do with them. And I think that's a great shop hack, especially since these things are just sitting, collecting dust. Nobody uses them anymore. You do have to most of the time buy the transparencies online because stores don't stock them for inkjet printers anymore because it's just a tech that nobody uses.
Overhead transparency projector. Look at that. This one's $12 on Amazon.
There's one on Amazon for $12.
Is that the one that's had like an $80 shipping?
No, I was on eBay work on the $80 shipping.
Oh, okay. So I'm looking on Amazon right now. This is $12, free return, free delivery. So that's $12.25.
How big is it? Is it like small though, or that looks
12
weird.
by 75.
It's got little pouches on the side.
It's got little pouches on the side.
No, that's just the pouches. I know what you're looking at now.
Wait, is that just the pouches?
Yeah,
It's just the pouches.
Oh, it is. Each side glue. Okay, yeah, my bad. Never mind. Pouches. That's the pouches for the overhead projector.
Somebody's making accessories for an overhead projector.
Apparently. On eBay, I've got any ranging from. Here's a $45 one.
So they're available. I would recommend if it's something you would like to, use. Look at it this way. You can also say you're cutting out a Mandalorian set of armor. You take a transparency of it, scale it to the right size. Maybe the plates don't fit you so well. You can't get the right size plates or whatever. You can easily print out the plates on a transparency and scale them to fit you and scale them to fit someone else in your group. And it's one set of, instead of having small, medium, and large templates.
Yeah, we've got small, medium, large.
We've got literally actually just before this, because I was digging out, there is.
You were in the folder, huh?
In the shop, there is a process that I put in place in the early days of the workshop, and that is build folders.
Yeah.
When we work on a project, we take reference material, everything we can put together for reference material and any notes, any whatever, and it goes into a build folder. And for a future person coming into the shop, say they're working on an X-Wing pilot and they want to know, and they're asking us all kinds of questions. And if it's a busy night or if anything else, you just hand them the build folder, and then after you go through this, then you can ask questions.
So the problem is the Mando build folder ends up being looking like
Mando build folder. Thick. No, the Mando build folder is not a build folder. It's a build drawer.
It is a
mess. It is a huge mess, and we've gone through every time someone comes in here wanting templates. we make an attempt to organize it, but it just seems every time it makes it worse.
It does.
And I don't understand how that happens.
It's terrible.
So you just grab Mandalorian templates, and what comes out is all the sizes available in not just standard traditional Mandalorian armor. You'll have legacy armor in there. You'll have this in there. And then, crazy enough, you can actually have speeder bike templates in there too, which is a very funny.
I don't know why that has happened.
It happens,
but it happens
does happen.
every single time.
And then but anyway, I have right now we have about. I actually counted them tonight. I've forgotten how many build folders we had. What are you looking at?
What do you have on your arm?
Oh, it's something that we were playing. Yeah, it's classified information, but we were making some things, and I was testing it on my skin.
Oh, you were doing, okay. I know what that is. I can see what that is now. Never mind.
So we have right now between 20 and 30 build folders.
Yeah.
I started doing this in the early days for blaster builds.
Yeah.
So I have a DL44 build folder. I have 11 build folders, DH17 build folders. I have all that kind of stuff. And that's where a lot of my notes, a lot of those notes have actually been transferred into a build book, which is more accessible to me when I'm building something, especially when I have template-based type stuff. So, but yes, that is one of the workshop things is build folders. We have build folders for X-Wing pilots. We have build folders for Endor troopers. We have built, that was Jason Rutledge build that we kept all the information from. We have Stormtrooper build folder. We have I could just go on the stacks like that big. But it's a good reference, and I always wanted to have a shop reference library. You remember that? I've kind of gotten away from that. We haven't done that for a few years, but it's still something that exists and still something we can use. And since I have it, I knew exactly where to go to find these transparencies tonight.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
Because there is a build folder for the chair. Any questions, class?
I don't even know if anybody's still on. I know that.
No, we got plenty of people on.
We have 4 people who showing is on. One is Hernan, I have to assume still. And he said, "You're right. It is a good projector you have there."
So, you know what? Here's the thing. If you're into costuming, and you know, this has benefited not this particular machine, but a couple of our past
Projection
anime
series,
people that were here at workshop.
Yeah.
They didn't particularly go get an overhead projector, but they used.
Daryl is still here, he says.
Oh, hey, cool. We've had people in the past not using this actual machine, but using this idea of using a projector to scale for template making for anime swords, spears, anime's got some really crazy stuff.
It does have some really cool stuff.
But if you take it another step further and find 3D files, but you don't want to 3D print this because you know that you're going to do a lot more, because a lot of the anime people we know are also, they compete. And 3D printing, I don't know how it's looked.
Which is why that table has burn scores all over it.
Yes, we taught. we down here in the workshop, the way it works is whatever task comes up, someone here knows how to do it. Whether knows how to do it. It's woodwork, he gets a lot of that. Although I'm okay at it too.
It's wood.
The worst he gets all the plastic heat forming work. He's just a master at it because he's the head of the Mandalorian merch.
I am not the head. I am not the head of the Mandalorian merch.
He is the sponsoring den mother for 95% of the Mandos that I know.
That you know, but there's this is just the Cincinnati area.
How many Mandos have? This is.
Oh, we're talking official or just armor.
Let's talk about how many Mandos, whether they plan to be official or not, that have come through this workshop.
Okay.
That you've worked on.
Okay.
And I can think before we left the old shop and came here, I can think of 5 right off the top.
I can think of a 5 official.
You can do 5 official, but I can think of 5 before we ever left the old shop. The old shop was what, maybe a year and a half?
But you got to think.
Unofficial.
There was at least. Oh, we're talking the old shop. Just the amount of people that we did armor for.
It's probably more than 5.
There's 23.
23. Wow. Would be patient zero is Larry's not patient zero, is he? He's up there. He's down there though. He's in the
John. It was John and those 3 of them.
There was a
John, Larry, and
Clark came later.
Yeah, Chris Clark was about a year into the old shop. He got his photos down here. His original photos.
Did we start his kit at the old shop?
We started at the old. No, yeah, we started at the old shop and then ended up down here.
Wow.
Because remember, actually, the patient zero would have been Dave.
Super Dave?
Yeah. He was the first armor.
And then remember how, you remember our introduction to Barry, right?
Oh, yeah.
He had the kit. He'd already had the kit for like 2 months, I think.
And wanted to know how to cut.
Well, this is how it works. Especially if anybody out there knows what it's like buying your first kit of armor. You've spent
$600.
Yeah, somewhere in the neighborhood of $600-800, and you have this untrimmed, unfitted kit, and you don't know where to start. And I always tell people to start with the forearm because it's right here. It's right in front of you. It's easy to mark, figure out where and how it fits, and to do the forearm. And once you figured out the forearm, the legs, the thin, the shins, they're all the same. But the forearm's easiest because it's right here and accessible. Even though you're sometimes doing it left-handed, it's still easy. And once you learn that, that's how you build the rest of the limbs on the kit. And the limbs of the kit is the big thing. The chest and the back, it's just strapping, webbing. The ab plate and the butt plate and the kidney plate, it's all strap and webbing. There's no real size adjustment. But on your legs, your shins, your forearms, and your upper arms, that's where that all comes in. So we always teach people to do their forearms first. And then, so Barry had that kit forever. He came, we did one forearm, didn't see him for 2 weeks. He showed up, the kit was done.
Now, can you show me how to attach this?
Yeah, then it was webbing, and that was it. He was done. He was finished. And I was with him on his first troop. Yeah. And I think his first troop, if I remember, if it was our first troop together, this is years ago when the autism, families with ASD had their autism expo still at
Shenandoah Convention Center.
No. They used to have it at Live Oaks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I trooped that event with Barry, and I think that would have been one of his very early troops. Yeah. And I did that the week after I did my first troop up in Dayton for some college class thing. But anyway, overhead projectors, these overhead projectors. If it's something you think you can use it for big stuff, little stuff. We don't use it nearly as much as we could use it. It's a great way for making patterns for larger props, like we did the Emperor's Throne with it, all the way down to little stuff like I did the Bergman Model 1 for the Mandalorian. Yeah. I scaled it and templated it off of that, and that's but if it's something you think you might use or be able to use in the future or right now, just start looking Craigslist and just occasionally check Craigslist. Eventually, these things are going to pop up, and they pop up all the time for nothing.
Yep.
I said, we bought this one for $20 and threw another $25 in it, and it's been a reliable piece of
hardware.
Yeah. It sits over in the corner with a towel over top of it until we're ready to pull it out and use it. And I kind of like, what could we use it on? We can use it on any,
Don't force it.
I know. Don't push it. Don't push
Force
it.
it.
It sits over there. When we need it, we got it.
She does what she's supposed to. When
Not
she's
to
supposed
mention, it turns out it's been a cool little thing because I can write and draw stuff and kind of do the
Yep.
So
Now, if you could just do it on a regular, and
you know what? I never done that
so
before.
people can actually see it.
I had never done that before, so you got to give me a little bit because I'm writing upside down. I'm looking at it upside down. Or I'm looking at it, I put it on right side up. Well, whatever. Hayden sounds much better, by the way.
It's because he took antihistamines, which is why he looks like, if you look at him right now, he's high.
Yes.
He is high as a kite.
Hernan, you can do a great hand puppet show also with it.
That was everybody's favorite thing to do, don't lie.
The barking dog's all I could ever do. You know,
You can't do the bunny rabbit?
I can do the bunny rabbit, but it's the barking dog.
Little bunny.
The bunny rabbit is okay, but the barking dog has more stuff going
What
on.
about the alligator?
I never did try to do the alligator. How do you come up here and show us the alligator?
My hands are all screwed up.
Rodney is now going to perform the alligator.
The spider.
Prepare camera number 2.
You do it on the you do it on the overhead.
Do it directly
Right
on the
there.
over. There you go.
Damn it, I'm upside down.
See, I told you it's not that. Oh, that looks like Godzilla, dude. That looks like
like a
Godzilla.
caiman, not a crocodile. Looks like a fucked up duck. I can't believe this is what we've dissolved to. Anyways,
Good job,
moving
Rodney.
right
Thank
along.
you. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, Rodney. Anything else you want to go over tonight, sir?
Yes. Rodney will be doing the after show. It will be all shadow puppets.
All shadow puppets all the time.
Matter of fact, ooh, that's an idea. We
No, moving on.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So I hope it was somewhat I don't know, informative, gives you ideas, because really with this machine or these things, there's a ton of things you can do, and it's easier than pulling your projector, if you have one for watching TV on, pulling it off the wall and plugging it into your computer.
Rodney, this is Godzilla.
I told you. It is Godzilla.
Gojira!
Godzilla!
Good thing we're not popular in Japan, because we would be inciting a panic right now.
Well,
Ow.
you know, if you have that now wandering around, you wouldn't try to panic anyway.
Anyways,
Don't forget, let's review
we've got a big, weird friggin'
We
be
have.
here next week, so you can
Yes.
be in the lottery to get the.
We
blaster
are
for
celebrating
this.
our 2-year anniversary of the giveaway trivia nights this month. The final contest game, all the fun and shenanigans, will be on the 31st. But turns out this year you're going to have to get your name in for all the
Next week.
shenanigans next week. So you got to show up. We're going to cover the getting everybody's names in for the first half hour, and then we'll go do something in the second half hour. So, you know, because like a lot of people don't like to wait and watch us all night
I
long,
get you.
even though I can't understand why they would not. But if you want to get in, actually, it's not even a matter of if. You should. We'll be giving away this month the Han Solo DL44 Hoth version. Let's just call it, I'm going to start calling it the Probe Droid Killer.
The probe droid killer.
But anyway, this is the blaster.
Just a probe droid.
We're giving away the blaster that Han carried on Hoth. And
Empire probably, it's a good thing. Empire probably knows we're here.
but anyway, you know what, Hernan? It doesn't matter, because all you need to do is get your name in on the 24th, which is next week. Get your name in, because we're going to be doing a drawing,
And,
and
you get
that
to see
drawing,
what happens.
that drawing will. The names that we get in, and we're going to put them all in a kitty, and then we're going to draw some names, and those names will go into the calamity that is going to be this month's finale. And it's going to be great. It's going to be the biggest, hottest dumpster fire we've ever done.
That's saying a lot.
And we're adding a certain extra level of risk and catastrophe, because Rodney has prepared electronics.
We need a fire extinguisher.
Matter of fact, Hold on a sec. I got something to show you the danger that we'll be dealing with. Hayden, help me, please. Camera 2 here in a second. Look at that scary mess.
Oh God, that's
see
actually
that?
it. That is legitimately.
Doesn't
the
that look
stuff
like it's ready to catch fire right now? So go ahead, go back to camera 1.
That looks terrible.
Look, if it was going to catch fire, it would have caught fire the first 3 times.
And
Is that before or after you had to resplice?
Technically, that was the 4th time.
So anyway, join us next week. Get your name in for the game on the 31st. It's going to be a fun time. It's going to be something totally new, completely untested and untried and unrated. Yes, we might actually. Yes, we may violate
Unrated?
YouTube stipulation. We don't know. We don't know exactly where it's going to go. We've already been in trouble for. We've already been in trouble for copyright twice. But anyway, I hope tonight's discussion was informative and gave you a different way of thinking about or way of approaching templating and scaling up something that just kind of seems like it's difficult to do.
Yeah.
Especially on that really crazy type stuff. Like I said, I always go back to anime because anime has some crazy stuff, and and when you're competing, I don't think you're allowed to do a lot of 3D printed stuff.
You're not,
because you're supposed to make the whole costume
everything's
yourself.
supposed to be solidly made by you.
Yes, so that gives you the ability to.
And that's for
template.
the people who are hardcore into
Yeah,
making or into winning the costume contest,
which we've met a couple of them,
Yes,
and I
we
bet
have.
they've cried several times because of it.
Yes, I think they have. I think
But
they've cried for joy as well.
We know
Maybe not.
one that has cried because they couldn't figure out how to solder. But
We got that figured out.
that's
Thanks
a
for
reference
class,
back
sir.
to Matt on the burnt table.
Thanks for the class, sir.
Oh, you're very welcome. Like I said, it's old tech. They get thrown away all the time. They're laying in old warehouses for schools and colleges.
Yep.
Before we got this one, we almost had one given to us from a local university.
Yep.
And it turned out that it was too hard to throw away because it was bolted to a cart that they wanted to keep. So we missed out on getting it because it was too hard to detach it.
Yeah.
Isn't that exactly what happened?
That's exactly what
It's
happened.
like, you guys can have this, but it's bolted to this.
We want this cart, and
We want the cart. We don't want the projector. So you can't have it today because we don't have a screwdriver. It's kind of what it really ended up being.
Yeah.
But anyway,
That's all I got. What do you got?
I have nothing. Join us next week. Get your name in.
Tuesday
and
at
come
8
back,
o'clock.
And then come back on the 31st because, boy, if it turns out as good as I think it's going to be horrible.
Next Tuesday at 8 o'clock for the next amazing adventure of Blaster Pro.
Good night, everybody.
Dun, 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 dun.